Hi. Welcome. It has definitely been a minute, so I hope you all missed me. We are definitely at a new angle, but I kind of like this angle. It gives a little bit more YouTube-ish, vlog-ish, if that's what you want to call it. It gives more of that. But we'll hopefully, in the next coming months and as the vlogs progress, our setup looks a little better. I still have to dedicate a content wall, so it's gonna be a minute, but my condo's still under renovations. It'll probably be under renovations for years to come, so that's perfectly okay. It's kind of giving, like, you ever go to like your grandpa's house, your grandma's house, and you see that like old broken down door that just never gets fixed, or that old shed in the back that just never got fixed, and it's been that way since you were a kid, and now you're embarking on 30 years old and so forth. So that is kind of what it's giving. But that won't be me. I have a plan. I'm going to stick to the plan. We're going to let it play out, okay? So the point of this video is to execute multiple streams of income and multiple revenues so that my plan can work out, okay? But anyway, the point of this video was to just give an update as to where I've been, what I've been doing, and so forth. So little step back, I've been, if you can't tell by the title of this vlog, I am relaunching, rebranding my business. So to give you backstory about my business, I started a shoe company back in 2020. And it's been going on 5 years now. So I launched it back in January of 2020, and it's been 5 years now. However, I've had this idea since I was a senior in high school. So literally since I was 17 years old. So to have this idea at 17 and then to officially launch it at, how old was I? Maybe 21, going on 22. So it's been a minute, but it's been a learning experience, and it's something that I'm definitely grateful for, even though it hasn't panned out how I've always envisioned. But that's okay, because it just means that there's more room for me to learn and more things that I need to do in order to expand my business. And that is the hint. That is the reason why we are relaunching and rebranding my business, one step at a time. With that being said, I'm going to try and stop using my hands, but I just wanted to kind of get a quick nail glam while we're in here. Okay, back to the topic. Anyway, so with that being said, the purpose of me relaunching and rebranding my business, honestly, is because since I've become a homeowner and just everything that I've gone through in these past few years, I've told myself that I wanted to keep going no matter how things turn out versus how I envisioned versus how things actually turn out. I want to keep going. And I want to keep learning. And that is the benefit of being a small business, is that I have the room to grow. I have the room to make mistakes, and I have the room to learn, which is currently why we are relaunching. So within the past 2 months, I have dedicated all of my resources, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, all of my editing, my video editing skills, my photo editing skills, Canva, Chat GPT, and so forth, to really, really emphasize that my brand is here. This is what we are. This is who we are. This is where we are from. And this is how we can service you. So a little backstory about my brand. My brand is titled Mike, or MHYK. However, I don't have any preference, but it's titled Mike, or MHYK, by Ashanti Michael. And it specifies, essentially, when I started the brand back in 2020, I only wanted to do heels. I only wanted to do luxury high heels. And after about a year or 2 or 3, and kind of putting my brand out there and going to pop-up shops and just meeting family and friends and fellow customers, one of the biggest things that a lot of people have expressed to me is, oh, I want to support your brand, but I don't wear high heels. So it was kind of dejecting, especially starting out being very, very small and feeling like, okay, I'm going to launch this business. I'm going to have Shopify store. I'm going to have an Instagram, and it's going to take off. And that is not the reality of social media. That is not the reality of being a small business owner. But that doesn't mean that my business can't succeed. So eventually, I decided to take heed to the advice, and I decided to add new products to my store. And you'll see later on, I have kind of like a little video to show you guys of what my actual store looks like, and the products that I'm currently selling, and the products that I plan on adding and expanding as the year goes on. So the purpose of my brand eventually was to start out to help save costs, because everything is fully funded by me. So that means advertisement, that means keeping the Shopify store live, that means anything from like SEOs and other platforms and things of that nature that I use, they're all funded by me personally. So sometimes there are going to be breaks in this business because, honey, funds can get very tight and very limited. But I really truly believe that all of the seeds and the monies and the manifestations that I'm putting into this relaunch and this rebrand is going to pay off, and I'm going to be making my funds back plus more. So yeah, so with that being said, okay. So with that being said, so as I mentioned, I started the brand off with solely being high heels. Then eventually, after listening to everybody and feeling like, okay, how can I expand to not exclude a particular market base or a customer base that wants to support me but can't? And so I decided to open up my store to more accessories and non-exclusive heels. So i.e. sandals, slippers. I just have an idea for like a Valentine's Day line coming up in the end of the year, towards the beginning of 2026, that I'm super, super excited for. So hopefully I can stick with it. But also with that, accessories, so socks, tights, knee-high socks, calf-high socks, lace, cotton, knitted for the winter and so forth. So that's kind of where my mind is in terms of this relaunch, in this rebrand, is to incorporate any and everything that really can accessorize shoes. Like how Crocs have like the little, what is it? Those little things that you could put. It's not a widget, but I feel like widget is on my tongue to say, but it's not a widget. But you know how Croc has that, right? So kind of my version of that, but for Mike. So I'm excited to see what that is going to look like. I do have some of them added to my store now for buying, but I do have some redesigns currently in progress to be added to the website. So they're kind of going to be more favorable for summer and spring, since the origination for a lot of these accessories were back in the winter. And then I kind of got dejected, and then life was just like, yeah, you're not feeling it. So now that summer and spring is approaching, I'm going to air all of my products to summer and spring, which is also the benefit of my relaunch, since most of my products benefit summer and spring. So it's the perfect time to kind of get out there, get my brand known. So the key part to getting my brand known, rebranding is social media marketing. And not just social media marketing, but marketing in general, which is, if you know me personally, I am not an advocate for putting myself out there. I prefer to be to myself and in my shell. But if I want my name out there, and if I want to start making the coins and the monions and selling these products so I can restock, I have to get my name out there. So in order to do that, I have to utilize all of the resources that I have. And I also have another video that I'll show you guys that will show you my Instagram profile to kind of give you an insight as the behind the scenes as a store owner, what insights I see as people that view my profile, the advertisements that I run, what's speaking to my audiences and what's not, as because I have to relaunch. So I need to know currently what is actually feeding towards my customers and just people out there in general, and what's not feeding towards them. So you're going to see kind of the analytics in the background of that and what my Instagram looks like. Hope you guys press that follow button too and support, as well as just getting an insight as to social media. So for example, with my social media, part of my relaunch is to rebrand my entire social media. So my price point is geared more towards luxury. As a small business, a lot of people, they kind of turn you away from going into luxury, as it is more hands-on. It is a lot of overhead costs and so forth, but I feel like I can do it, and I'm going to do it. So a lot of my price is geared towards luxury, but I do have a few discounts in place for people to kind of offset those costs with free shipping over certain price points. If you sign up and subscribe to our email, which you'll also see on the actual website how that looks and how you can sign up. If you ever come across my website one day, or you just want to look and support, by all means, go ahead. You'll see what that looks like and how that offers an incentive of 50% off your first order. So I try to make sure that I have certain incentives that kind of will keep people coming and bring new people in, as well as make sure I'm not breaking mama's pockets, okay? But anyway, so a part of that is to revamp my social media, to kind of make my social media more modernized, but also geared towards luxury clientele and luxury customers. Along with that is also finding my target customer base and my location. So we currently operate out of Connecticut. However, a lot of my viewers and visitors to my website and my social medias kind of range in more higher end cities. So California is one of the bigger states that currently is eyeing a lot of my products. And then ironically enough, New Hampshire is coming in second, which is really, really unique to me. I didn't expect that. But this is why it's important to brand, because I would have never thought to even mention New Hampshire, right? Let alone, so, you know, it all goes into the metrics and everything like that. So I'm super, super, super excited. So with that is revamping my Instagram and my social media presence. I currently don't have a Facebook for my brand, as I did lose my personal and my business Facebook about a month ago. So I'm trying to take things slowly with revamping and building back up my Facebook. So right now it's just Instagram, which works for me. Anyway, along with our website, which you can visit, and I'll put the link in the comments below as well as in the bio as well, to make sure that you, visit, all right? So with that, second, advertisement, specifically paid advertisements. So because my business is small, you know, and the go-to thing nowadays is influencers. How can you get collaborators and influencers? And the biggest thing for my brand is I want my brand to be eventually down the line, right? I want my brand to be faceless. So I don't want my brand to be geared with me, my face, or anything like that. But in order for people to realize that this is a real brand, this is an authentic brand, you need a human face. So that's where I come in. So I am currently the collaborator, as well as the CEO, the CEO, the COO, okay, of this brand. So that has done tremendous for me, because my personal Instagram has a lot more followers and a lot more engagement. So it helps aid in my social media presence. But like I said, I still want to aim to keep my business and my personal separate, because I do want down the line my brand to survive on its own without my face, you know? So with that being said, paid advertisement comes in, because a lot of my posts have a lot of my products on them. And so in order to get my products out there, I've been creating advertisements specifically to do one or two things. One, to kind of gain people to my website, because I want my website to gain traction. I want people to actually see my website, so then I can study customers' behaviors, and I also will show you guys what that looks like behind the scenes via Shopify. But I want to be able to study customers' behavior, so I want to be able to see, okay, what pages, what products are garnishing their attention compared to others, what's something I may need to work on, what are some other areas that I need to be able to access, like other states, different countries, do I maybe need to offer other incentives? And that's where you guys come in. Everybody watching this video, I want you to click the link to my website and to my Instagram, and I just want you guys to view it, see what you would look for if you wanted to buy from my brand, what's speaking to you, what's not speaking to you. If you can, keep your recommendations politely though, okay? Keep them nice and cute. But it really would help, because I really would be giving live feedback to know. I have a few more things in play in the background, along with more social media posts, more advertisements coming in the future, and then embarking on SEO. So the third thing is connecting with self-contractors. If you haven't, Fiverr is a very, 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 very good app for small business owners to connect with, you know, other small contractors in terms of things. So if you're looking for example, SEO. So if you don't know, SEO is the prime optimization that specializes with Google. So when you search up a particular keyword or a particular, say, season, particular shoe item, and so forth, that's where SEO comes in great for my brand. So SEO is going to be the main factor for my brand. So I was grateful enough to connect with a small contractor via Fiverr about 2-3 years ago, and we've been in contact ever since, and they've been relatively helpful for me, especially with me being a small business. I don't want to open up my business to a lot of people, so having someone that kind of optimizes and utilizes everything from Shopify expertise to SEO is very, very great. So we are now in conversations to optimize SEO. Just keep in mind that none of this is free, okay? This is money to be spent, but I feel like if I keep being persistent, that's what's going to come, and that's what's going to pay off. So number 4, consistency, being consistent. And that's the point of social media, and that goes back to being a brand, speaking, letting people know that I am here, my brand is here, my brand is real, and I can service you for all of your luxurious needs: high heels, sandals, socks, accessories. I'm here for that. Okay. So I feel like with, not to make this a long windfall, but I kind of wanted to give that insight into those 4 keys of how to relaunch my business and how those 4 keys specifically are going to help me relaunch my business and my business to be successful. So I'm going to show you guys first the Instagram and how my Instagram currently looks and kind of the back site or the back info in terms of insight into posts, who views, who's not viewing, how are they interacting, are they following me, are they liking, are they commenting, are they going straight directly to my website, along with that. Then I also show you behind the scenes of my analytics for my actual Shopify store in terms of the viewers, how many people are actually visiting, customer behavior, landing pages specifically. So when you access my website, what are you doing? What pages are you accessing? Are you accessing my homepage? Are you accessing my contact? Are you accessing I can't talk. Are you clicking my particular products? Are you interested in one product and so forth? So that's where customer behavior comes in and is important for my Shopify store. And then with that, I think I forgot to mention, so we're going to piggyback. So I forgot to mention, I did say that I was running 2 different advertisements. So one advertisement was to gear people towards my website. However, the second advertisement was to, not my light going out. That's so ghetto. So ghetto, and I charge that, but that's a different topic. Anyway, this is the imperfection of YouTube, right? But anyway, so the second advertisement is to gear people towards a particular product and more so just to interact with my Instagram, because I want the algorithm to see that my page is important, my brand is important, so they can keep fleshing out my content. So eventually I don't always have to do a paid advertisement because my interactions and my flow and my followers will be organic. So these are the keys. So now we're going to go to Instagram.